How are you?
I'm really happy. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
So, well, tell me how did it happen to get the role in this film? How was the process?
Well, I heard about it and was keenly interested. And then there was an audition that involved doing an improvisation with just a couple pieces of information about who Credence was. And so the information was just that that the character had a foster mother and that there was a contentious relationship with the foster mother. Did that improvisation on tape in New York, and then the David conspiracy, David Yates and David Heyman, they came to New York and we met. And then there was a process of their decision making in which I was, very anxious and hopeful. And then I was cast.
Cool. Well, in this movie, there's these unlikely heroes and misfits. Did you identify with that growing up? Like, were you a misfit, or were you more like the mainstream type of kid growing up?
I was certainly a misfit, sort of by design in a couple different ways. I had a breath-line stutter when I was a kid, which meant even from a really young age, I had a hard time fitting in with the group because I would get nervous, and that would intensify my stutter. And if I was being teased or mocked for my stutter, it would intensify it further, the more conscious of it I became. And then I found the cure for my stutter was opera, and then I was a 6-year-old who was obsessed with opera, which also didn't really put me in the in crowd. And then right as I was coming out of the opera, I was beginning to have questions about my sexuality and was starting to kiss boys sometimes, and that didn't help either. And so yeah, I've known the reality of being a social misfit, but
it's
a
always,
social misfit in a world of heavy privilege.
But I think it's always good to be
white male class privilege. You know what I mean? Which there are heavier layers of being an outcast and being scapegoated than I have ever had to know.
But I think it's actually a blessing to be a misfit as opposed to be a part of the mainstream of what everybody else is.
It certainly affords you the opportunity to see things more clearly from afar with a grander perspective, but we shouldn't discount the pain.
No, yeah, of course.
And how unfortunate it is that we don't create a society that can be conducive to that sort of invention or creativity, and in fact makes people feel really stifled and like they have to be outside of society in order to express themselves fully.
Yeah. So if you had the chance with a wand to change something in this world, what
I destroy patriarchy.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I think that's at the root. I think that the culture of violence against women is deep in the root of the problems in our world, and I think we can see the correlation pretty literally, even as we see how evil most prominently surfaces and bears its teeth. That's always going to be tied into misogyny, and if we don't address misogyny, then none of our because it all intersects, all issues intersect with the oppression of women and female-bodied people.
With that amazing thought, we are done. We don't have more time, but thank you so much. Thank you.